Hey YouTube, what is up? It's JR. Are you looking for money to save on your cell phone bill? If you are, FreedomPOP is here to help. So, if you don't know what FreedomPOP is, they offer two main things. They offer cell phone service and data service over cellular network, such as over three different types of network, over Sprint's EVO network, Sprint's WiMAX network, and upcoming Sprint's LTE network. And did I mention FreedomPOP offers a wide variety of free options for your cellular needs and as well data needs. The great thing about having FreedomPOP is I don't have a cell phone bill. I have the Sprint HTC EVO 4G. The great thing about having the HTC EVO 4G is that I get free 4G over the Sprint's WiMAX network. I get around 5 megs up and about 3 megs down, which is perfect for my needs, and I'm able to make a steady, great phone call over voice over IP, which is how FreedomPOP is able to make those free calls. Another great thing FreedomPOP offers in a traditional cell phone carriers is Wi-Fi calling. What that means for you is that if there's no coverage in your area, such as a basement or hard places where you don't get service, is that you're still able to establish a cell phone connection using your Wi-Fi interfaces, and in doing so, you're able to make a call better or the same as over a traditional cellular network, which does come in handy. The overall experience I had with FreedomPOP so far for the past week using their beta program is that I did have a great sense of feedback through them, because with them I was able to call them and they were able to answer within minutes with the questions that I did have. The great thing about having FreedomPOP is the ease of access of usability over the phone. All I had to do to set up this HTC EVO 4G was to download 3 simple apps. I had to download their texting app and calling app, which places a call's voice over IP over Sprint's 3G, 4G, or 4G LTE upcoming and Wi-Fi networks. And all I had to do, another step, was to download the voicemail app in order to get voicemail. And another app I had to download, which was all free apps, was a My Usage app that details how many minutes I have, how much data, and how much text I have, which is very helpful. And it gives you offers to get free data, which doing so, you guys complete offers for other third-party websites, which is great because you could get free data, which other carriers don't do. A great thing another about FreedomPOP is that you could buy their phones or you could bring your own device. Other carriers don't do that. The good thing about bringing your own device is that it could be any type of Android-based smartphone that is on Sprint's 4G WiMAX network, such as the Samsung Galaxy S2, the Galaxy Nexus S, and also the HTC EVO 4G and 3D, and other HTCs and Samsung devices as well, which is great because those phones, you get them for a really good price over eBay, or some of them brand new, which they offer for $99 to get the HTC EVO 4G. And the great thing about having that is that you get 4G over Sprint's WiMAX network, which is superb for the price of free. And my overall experience for FreedomPOP, I would give it a 7 out of 10, which is great based on my needs. Because the reason why I give FreedomPOP a 7 out of 10 is that this bring your own device program is still in beta stage, and there's still going to be some glitches and flaws. And if you're able to handle that like I do, it's a perfect solution, and it really does cut my bill in half. The flaws that I did have was texting. I wasn't able to send pictures yet over their messaging service, but I really don't text over those service, or before I had FreedomPOP, I always use other services such as Kix Messenger, which wasn't that big of a deal for me. And another issue that I did have was your call quality. If you're on a 3G area, your call quality severely depreciated because you're sending a signal over the 3G data, not using Sprint's voice towers. I would say they're 1X RTT networks, and that is one issue that I did have. But wherever I basically was, I basically had 4G in my area, and I also did have Wi-Fi in my home and in my business, so that wasn't really big of an issue. Another thing that I did also have, which was not much of a major concern, was using sometimes the native dialer. The settings, options on FreedomPOP things, you would have to use their app in order to place a call, but there is some settings on there to use a native dialer on Sprint's phone, HTC EVO 4G, which would work occasionally, not all the time. It would call through using Sprint's voice network, and it would say that your call cannot be established. That wasn't a big major issue. So overall, I do really recommend FreedomPOP to kids, to teens, especially teens, because if you're on a strict budget and you could afford the brand new HTC EVO 4G for $99, which is a great value. And just to go over the HTC EVO 4G, the great thing about having the HTC EVO 4G is that I get 4G anywhere I really am, and highly populated areas. If you're not in a highly populated area, that places that just offer 3G, I would not recommend getting FreedomPOP yet, because their service over the 3G network isn't up to par on any standards that I would say. You could send text, browse the data over it, but when you need to make a call or answer a call, you would not really get a good sense of calling quality, because the call cuts out, or there's just no call quality at all, or you just can't hear nothing, the call drops, and you would have to call them back when you do find better coverage in your area. But that's my only gripe I really had with FreedomPOP, and just to inform you, it still is in beta stage, so I do understand that there are still some technicalities between FreedomPOP, but for free, you really can't beat that. Other carriers charge you for the same plan up to on $30, $40 a month, just having that plan, and to know that you have free and you're secured having that spot for life, I think is superb, and I really do recommend FreedomPOP. And the great other feature that I would recommend is for students, kids, people who really on a tight budget and can't afford to get the latest and greatest smartphone, but really want a smartphone to have those type of same features, and that's why I recommend FreedomPOP. Overall, my conclusion of FreedomPOP, what really caught me into getting FreedomPOP was earning free data. Other carriers such as Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, they all don't allow you to share data, especially with Verizon, that you're on a so little data management plan, such as 2 gigabytes, 3 gigabytes, and if you need more, you get charged for that. The great thing about having FreedomPOP is if you go over your data usage or close to it and you want more data without paying, there is a thing called a sharing feature, and you could ask your other friends to loan you, I guess, megabytes, gigabytes, or how much data you need using their FreedomPOP account. Another feature that really caught my eye was also there was these third-party things. If you downloaded an app or just clipped a few PowerPoint slides on their website, you were able to gain a few megabytes. Like for mine, I gained over 700 megabytes of data, and that was great for me because I have the 1 gigabyte plan and I needed a little bit more to get me by. So doing those, it was really a great help, and I would be paying just I would say around $20 for just getting those 700 megabytes if I went with another carrier. So that's great to know that it's free. And that's it. That's my overall review of FreedomPOP Wireless. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below in the comment section, and I'll respond to them as soon as possible. And I will soon be making a review on the HTC EVO 4G on FreedomPOP Wireless.